Good morning, warriors. God is good. All the time. Please join me in the pledge to the Bible. I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I will hide its words in my heart, that I might not sin against God. Join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're working through an important part of our catechism. We're learning about sin. And so if you remember, the question is, what is sin? And the answer is, sin is any lack of conformity to or transgression of the law of God. So let's break it down. You'll repeat after me. Sin is any lack of conformity to or transgression of the law of God. Let's put it all together. What is sin? Sin is any lack of conformity to or transgression of the law of God. And so the next two questions help us understand what this definition is. So the next question is, what is meant by lack of conformity? And the answer is, not being or doing what God requires. So repeat after me, not being or doing what God requires. And the next question after that is, what is meant by transgression? And the answer is, doing what God forbids. So repeat after me. Doing what God forbids. So the definition of sin, there's two parts to it. You have a standard that we are to live to. It is being made in the image of God and conforming to that image. So anytime we fall short of that, we are sinning. And then on top of that, the second part of it is, when we know God forbids something and we do it anyway, that's a transgression, that's sin. So the next question is, what does every sin deserve? And the answer is the wrath and curse of God. So we are in a bad state, right? Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Eve. They broke the covenant of life with God. They passed down the sin nature to us. We can't conform to the image of Christ, and we purposely sin against God, and that all deserves the wrath and curse of God. Yikes, right? Yikes. Thankfully, Easter's coming, right? Thankfully, Easter's coming. There's good news coming on the way. This week, we've been working through the review of our school rules. It is just a reminder of the school rules, and so that we can finish this fourth quarter strong. So as a quick review, let's go through them. Obey. Fear God. Honor others. Do your work. And do everything. So the rules are actually modeled after the Ten Commandments. And the Ten Commandments, when Jesus summarized them in the New Testament, he said there's two commandments. One is to love God, and then love our neighbor. So our rules are modeled after that too. Loving God, obey him, fear him. So I love and respect him for who he is. And because of that, I obey him. And then the second part is now, gratefully and thankfully, I'm going to serve my neighbor. I'm going to do my work as unto the Lord. I'm going to honor others above myself. And I'm going to do everything without grumbling or complaining. So as we continue to learn to love God more, I will obey him. I will fear and respect him. And I will love him. And out of that love, then I will serve my neighbor. I will honor others, I will do my work, and I will do everything with a grateful heart. So that is what we're working towards here at school every single day, and it's not just you as a student, it's me as a principal and all your teachers. We're all working on this together. As I've said before, these aren't just school rules, these are life rules. Thankfully, like I mentioned before, the resurrection power helps empower us to live this way. So let's sing Up from the Grave He Arose. So in the chorus it says, he arose a victor from the dark domain, and he lives forever with the saints to reign. And then before it says he had triumphed over his foes. What does the word foe mean? Someone's my foe. What does that mean? Charlie? My enemy. So what does triumph mean? What does triumph mean? Mason? Yeah, victory. You like to win, right? So if you triumph, you win over your enemies. So what foes, what enemies did Jesus defeat and have victory over? What were the foes? Luke. Satan's one. What else? Chase? Death and sin, right? So the things we're talking about now, about what sin is, lack of conformity and transgression and the curse of the law, all those things, those were the enemies that Christ defeated for us. And because of that, now we can honor others. We can do our work because Christ is changing our hearts. So let's do that today. The Lord be with you.